What is up, guys? Jake from One Hive here with the next cleanup video, and this is one from the Rising Honor Black Lodge War that we just had. Couple of attacks here, same sort of style, both hog attacks, but done quite a bit differently. The first one, obviously, Marcos did not have all the information. It was the first attack on the base, and then the second one had that benefit, but probably just in general was a little bit better of a game plan and got the 3-star. So let's talk about what each person did. Marcos starts off by coming in down here with, whoops, it's ginormous, sorry about that. Coming in down here with a giant and then just some hogs to come in and take these defenses out and get the CC lure. It does a good job. Again, these guys across the board had a lot of balloons in their clan castle, so we really needed to get those out. Doing a no lure attack is tough on your golems, so we weren't able to do that. He had to come in and get this one taken out. Does a great job on the lure, gets these defenses taken down, actually triggers a giant bomb, I think right here. Gets those down and gets the CC lure. So then he brings them up top. Way up to the very top there, drops his anchor, his witches, wizards, all that good stuff, takes them out, his queen, and then drops a couple of golems here. Now this is all good. He's tanking, he's got a nice jump spell for right here to let everything in, to the queen compartment, obviously. Good plan there. One of the mistakes he makes is he does not let his funnel get wide enough when he drops his wizards, and when he drops his king goes for a walk around the base. So that was huge. What that does is the queen's standing like right here. The golems, work their way in. They come over and go these directions to these mortars, and the queen's able to sit over here. Actually, I don't think that last one. I think they both kind of come this direction. The queen's able to sit back and just be peppering them the whole time. His offensive queen is sort of distracted by some skeleton traps, I think, that came out from here. She's taking out every building along the way. There's some Teslas that pop. I think there's another one over here. So she's dealing with all that while this defensive queen is just working on his golems. The king finally, as the golems move into this compartment, the king even gets in on the action. So by the time the defensive queen is down, that's sort of the goal of this push, all that's left, his kill squad's gone, the witches, everything's dead except for his queen, and she dies shortly after. I think this X-bow's locked on her, and she dies shortly after. Had the king come in here, the queen would have died much sooner, which would have let the golems last longer, which would have given his queen more time. It would have been a ripple effect. He'd have got a much larger section of the base taken out. Now, the reason I say the second game plan, in my opinion, was just better in general is because still, when you bring the one golem like that, or the two golems, the one jump spell, you're not breaking any compartments to get deeper into the base. Two golems are not as effective because they're going to be landlocked right here. They can move into this compartment or this compartment. That's as far as they're going. From right here, those golems are stuck. They're not busting through those lava walls. That's where the raid ends for them. So really, the queen does have more taking and has more time, but you're not getting that much more of the base taken out. Nevertheless, it was that part was done. The queen was dead. He starts his hog attack. He just comes in from the bottom, surgical attack, working his way around the base, dropping heals where they're needed. All this part was great. Good heal placement, good hog deployment, gets it all taken care of. But once the final defense goes down, pretty sneaky, a Tesla pops right over here. So the hogs are over here. I think this air defense or one of these was the last one to go down. So now the Tesla pops. The king had just about made his way all the way around the base. So they got to run all the way over here. He only had a few hogs left. Still wouldn't have had a 3-star even if that hadn't been there. But it did take up more time. And there was just a lot of trash buildings and the town hall that were left to clean up that he didn't have troops, kill squad, or enough hogs to get it done with. But let's watch the attack. Then we'll come back to the drawing board. All right, here we go with the attack. Coming down to the bottom here, has to get that CC lured out. Brings a giant and just a few hogs on each defense there. I think he did, 3 on both of those, Archer Tower and Cannon. Starts to go down. They get in and get the last cannon taken out. A couple go flying to a spring trap here, but really gets in, gets that giant bomb. And then he had some heavy-weighted troops in the CC. This guy actually ended up only with 1 balloon in there and had a Valk and some high-level wizards plus a few minions. So that all came out pretty quickly. Just drops a minion anchor, goes ahead and deploys his witches up there, the few wizards and the queen behind them. That's all good. Working their way down. This part of the attack's all going great. I think the mistake here, his troops are starting to work their way down. He drops his golems. The witches, the wizards, they're all starting to work their way to create that funnel, but he doesn't really dedicate till right there. Almost too late. He dedicates a wizard there and doesn't even let that first collector go down before the king's deployed. And now he's going to follow that around the base just too quick on the king, basically, or too late on the wizards, however you want to look at it. So now the queen and the golems and the witches are over here sort of on their own. The splash damage starts coming in, taking out those skeletons, and then the defenses are able to target onto the witches. Again, here you see the queen really doing a number on these golems. The king comes up, gets in on the action. Both of them are already busted. There's only some golemites left. Finally, the queen is locked on. She takes the king out first. Now she's on the defensive queen. Boom. She goes down. So I guess mission accomplished, but you'll see right here, she's on her own. The witches are dead. The wizards are dead. It's just her, and now she's down. King's still working his way around, but that is just that, and plus what do you have? 14, 15 hogs and 4 wizards in the bag. Just not enough to clean up the rest of this base. Again, does a great job on the deployment of the hogs. On the really didn't need that spell there. Probably could have held on to it. But sends the hogs in a good way. They work their way through the base and are able to take out all the defenses, obviously. Loses a few to a double bomb set there, but has enough left. You see that Tesla pop right there. Boom. Just, sneaky to put one out there like that. Good trick. It will get someone the first time when you do stuff like that, or it can get them the first time. But it does sort of take away one of your defenses for cleanup. I don't know if he didn't notice it because he went ahead and dropped a wizard up there that got taken out. Right here, the last few defenses go down, and the hogs are going to make their way over there. But the king is basically going to beat him to it. He's going to start drawing fire, and the hogs are going to take it out. But you see, with 30 seconds left, it's just too little too late. The base is taken out. No defenses, nothing left. But just not enough time, not enough troops. So good attack, just not quite though. Let's go back to the drawing board and we'll see how it was cleaned up. All right, here we go. Big is the guy that does the cleanup attack here and does a very, very nice job. He has the advantage of watching the attack and knowing where some things are that Marcos didn't. Obviously, one thing being the Tesla there, so he just right away drops a giant and a hog, takes that out, no problem. Then comes in, he does a Noller, just comes in with a golem, and I think a golem like right here. Starts his wizard deployment, creating that nice big funnel, puts his queen down, working his way in, and then he starts wall breaking. He wall breakers this and actually goes ahead and drops enough to wall breaker all the way up into this section here. So you see he brought 6 there. Very, very nice job on that. That allowed him to take this jump and place it here. Now, just like we were talking about on Marcos' attacks, now look at how much more of the base the golems have access to. They can keep moving forward. They can keep tanking for his kill squad, for his witches, for his queen, for his king. It just gives them so much more of a push into the base. And with the setup this guy had, with the Teslas up here, look at how much of his actual defense of his base is in this section right here, and that's tailor-made for hogs. I mean, you send a bunch of hogs into there, a couple of heal spells, boom, boom, and that's done within a matter of seconds. So that's exactly what Big does. It lets his kill squad come through here. They basically, they get to trigger these bombs that were down here. I think they were like this. So much more more traps trigger, gets all the bombs out of the way, and then the hogs just work their way through the base very quickly. But the real story of this to me was taking a better angle, getting a better push into the base where more traps were, still able to get the queen taken care of, but disarming more traps, getting more value for his kill squad than Marcos did, and getting the 3-star. So let's watch the replay and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, here we go. You see him starting off with the giant and the hog. Pretty smart there because I don't think a Tesla would have one-for-one that, a balloon would have one-for-one that Tesla just because of the pause and it having a little bit of travel time. Teslas are pretty tough on loons when they have even a little bit of travel time. So good selection there. Could have done 2 loons, would have done the same thing, but no big deal. Then just goes ahead and starts in again with his golems coming down. Wizards behind it, witches right behind those, just creating the funnel, letting the defenses start going down. You see the queen already doing work on those point defense. The wall breakers, again, going to that second compartment, that was key, that was big. Going all the way in like that gives him so much more penetration. You'll see it right here. The queen's about to take out that last air defense that was in her way, and now she's going to work her way up to those CC troops, the jump, the king locks right onto that queen. Well, actually, he starts to go onto the queen. Then the king pulls him back, but uses the ability, jumps on that queen. Now she's dead. Now he can send his hogs in. And again, so heavy on that top side with the hogs, but the things like the X-bows, all of that is focused on his golem still because they got that deep penetration. So really doing a little bit of tanking for his hogs at the start of it. Goes ahead and drops a giant on the right side for them to tank a little bit. But you see the 2 heal spells, they worked away, and look how fast all those defenses went down to those hogs. Beautiful deployment, beautiful spell placement. You see they're still getting tanking out of his golems here on this bottom side, and the witch is still doing a little bit of cleanup. So right there you see how much more cleanup he's got. He's dropping wizards on the outside on some of these high HP buildings. The last defense is about to go down, and boom, right there, he's got plenty of time, still got the queen ability. Just a totally different dynamic to the attack, just taking a better angle at it, obviously having a little bit more information, and just making a beautiful cleanup. So really good job to Big, and a nice attack to Marcos, just didn't quite have it. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, hope you learned something from it. Until next time, Jake from One Hive reminding you guys to suck less.